So all right, guys, good afternoon. Welcome to the aftermarket recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me. Let me put a little light on in the room. Obviously, it gets dark a little earlier. Daylight savings, you know the drill. But I hope everyone's having a nice day. Let's talk about the market, shall we? Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo, click on that. Turn notifications, like our videos. Please like the videos. It really helps the algorithm. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And remember, this is your channel. We talk about what you want to talk about today. And here's the recap. Let's talk about it. Dow closed up 216 points today, 0.60%. The NASDAQ closed up 0.73% at 15,630. 4712 on the S&P, up 0.95%. The best week for the S&P since February. The most hated bull market in history. We're living in it. The VIX closed below 20, great sign. Actually closed below 19, which is what I wanted. Down 13.39%. Russell 2000 fell 0.28% on the IWM, 219.91. Let's see, the dollar index fell 0.23%, 96.05. The 10-year Treasury yield only ticked up 2 basis points at 1.489%. High yield credit, again, big time look of liquidity in the market, borrowing. High yield credit, which is what most aggressive growth companies borrow money from. They're considered high yield or junk bonds. Up 0.23%, investment grade up 0.11%. Think of investment grade as like Microsoft, J&J, Apple. They want to borrow money. They're more investment grade, higher grade. So think AA bonds, right? Let's take a look at crude oil, up 1.44% today at 71.96. Gold was up 0.36% at 17.83. 22.21 for silver futures, up nearly 1%. Ethereum futures are down 3.35%. Bitcoin futures are up 0.45%. And yes, weekends are still for crypto. Yes. So today we had our CPI number. It met expectations. I think year over year we're up about 0.1%. Highest inflation reading in nearly 39 years. But the market went up. How can that be, Carlos? What do you mean the market was up after a high inflation reading? I thought the world was going to end. I thought we were going to have hyper Zimbabwe inflation, right? Well, this is what happened. What you had is that yesterday, everyone was positioning that we were going to have a horrible CPI number. Now, again, 39 years record of inflation isn't the best. Since 1983, I think in 1982 is where we had this high inflation reading, right? So everyone was short. That's what everyone was expecting, the world to end. And what happened? People got squeezed, especially at the end of the day. What does a squeeze mean? If you're on the opposite side of the market and you close, you have to, if you're short, you have to buy. And if you are long, you have to sell. So that's what we call a short squeeze. Today, all the people who were bearish in the market for Friday got squeezed out this afternoon. As you saw the big boost at the end of the day, nice day. At the end of the day, you could see now we're starting coming to all-time highs. You're starting to see that. You see this big candle right off the 50-day moving average. We jumped about 24 handles on the S&P futures right at the last hour, power hour, 47.40. We're only 36 points away from all-time highs. But Carlos, how can that be? My God, I thought hyperinflation, the world's going to end, gas prices, all this stuff as bad is happening. Price dictates everything. That's right. Price action conquers all. The market doesn't care what you think. It's just the market. And that's where we are currently. So a lot of people just basically got caught off sides and got hit. That's all. Apple we took today for 40%. Very nicely done. I still have my AMD calls. We were up 20% in the morning and then it fell. It happens. I talk about trader psychology. If you missed that, it's on Instagram Live right now. Feel free to take a look at it. Hope you guys enjoy it. So a couple of things. Let's take a look at the groups today and see how we did. Let's go to groups here on our trusty FinViz, and we'll take a look at the 1 week relative performance. All right, consumer defensives gained 1.59% today, the leader of the board. Technology up 1.43 today. We'll take a look at those stocks today. What was red today was healthcare and communication services. So we'll take a look at that. 1 week relative performance from last Friday to this Friday. How did we do? Remember last Friday the world was going to end. Oh my God, it was terrible. Bear market. We bounced. Best week in the S&P since February of this year. Technology up 4.76% this week. The last 7 days, last 5 sessions. Basic materials up 3.72%, energy up 3.33%, communication services, consumer defenses, all up. The worst, the laggard, up 2.47%. What's healthcare? Not really terrible. Let's take a look at the maps. Take a look at maps here. This is the heat map of the S&P. A lot of green out there, a little bit of red. What was red today? Nvidia down 1%, Amazon down 1.13%, PayPal down 1.69%, Citi down 2.30%, JPM down a little bit. Again, we expected rates to rise, especially with a high CPI number. That wasn't the case, so financials took a little bit of a hit. Remember, I always talk about that, rates. That's what's going to take a look at. Apple, Microsoft on fire. I love those two companies. You already know Apple is my full IRA, and I'm up very nicely, nearly double of what I started with on my IRA. Tesla was up 1.32%. Home Depot, I own the stock, up nearly 1%. Google up about a quarter point. Twitter yesterday was great. Today, not so much, down about 2%. Facebook, treaded water, down 0.02%. Johnson & Johnson down about a quarter point. Pfizer was up 1.34%. UNH, dear to my heart, up 1% today. Procter & Gamble, remember the defensive yesterday, how they did? Defensive did well today too. Leader of the board. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Costco had a great report. I love Costco. Keep in mind, might be a top 10 of 2022. That's coming. Be careful. Moderna up 5.57, down 5.57% today. And again, kind of a mixture bag, but again, pretty much good all around. It'd be nice if NVIDIA joined the party, but they've had a great year all around. So down 0.96%. I don't think anyone's going to be shedding a lot of tears. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move this over. Let's answer some questions. Caught the Oracle earnings news. Was holding a couple 90 calls. I bought it at 218 a piece on Thursday morning. Very well done. Appreciate the grind you put in, Brody. Thoughts on PayPal Teladoc position starter? Let's take a look at PayPal together. And PayPal is now at the 200-day moving average. I was looking at buying some more right around 153.16. Let's see if we get there. There is an upside gap to fill right at 226, but we need a lot to get there. Some good news is that we are holding that 200-day moving average on the hourly. If you would like PayPal here, I would probably wait for a little more, probably around 175 if you want to do an initial position. Let's see what we get. If we start breaking above 200, that's a really, really good sign. Next is Teladoc, which I do own as well. And Teladoc, I'm buying more at 86.84. I'm still holding. I think I bought it at around 98 on Teladoc, but I've actually used Teladoc, honestly, to speak to a doctor. I had a little bit of a throat issue about a couple of months back, and Teladoc was great. So again, I'm a firm believer in investing in companies that you consume. Imagine taking Apple puts. Yeah, tough. We did Apple today. We had the 180 calls. I have a runner going for next week, but we hit as high as around 61% on it. So congratulations to the team, ending on a high note. QQQ calls didn't work out for us. AMD didn't work out for us the last 2 days. Yesterday, Thursdays took a little bit of a premium hit. I still have some AMD calls for next week. Let's see if we get a run. I do have some SPY calls for next week as well. Apple, Microsoft calls for next week. So Microsoft, I'm waiting for 353.58 to break. If that does, I will go ahead and target right around 348, 347. That should be a really good target. That should be the focus for next week. Let's see if we get it. In terms of Apple, Apple really is just breaking out all-time highs. So it's kind of tough to kind of play it here. I would like a retest around 175 to reload on some calls, but until then, let's see what we get. I think 180 seems to be that magical number for everyone to look at. Looking at TSM2. I like TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductor. A little bit sideways action here today. A lot of sideways action since about February. So again, if you're liking this semiconductor stock, my favorites are AMD, NVIDIA, Taiwan Semiconductor, and Qualcomm. Qualcomm being number 3, Taiwan being number 4. Taiwan Semiconductor is not a bad company to own. Just a little bit of just sideways action lately. Hi, thoughts on CL and U for a call option? CL, let's take a look at it. I believe this is Colgate-Palmolive. But again, these are consumer staples. They do not run very quickly in terms of this price action, but it is breaking out, which is nice. So again, take a look at possibly around 79, maybe the 80 calls. Kind of keep it close. I don't expect a ton of movement on consumer staples. We do have an upside gap to fill right around 83. So if you go to the 80 calls for next week, I think you should be able to hit that for at least 20% gain. Another one is Unilever. I believe that's you. And Unilever is on the daily is retesting that 100-day moving average. So again, I would probably look at puts of this, if anything. And your next target would probably be right around 125, if not 120. So I think the best bet would probably be CL in terms of that. I feel like TSM is lagging. Yep, it's been 8 months of sideways, Henry. I agree. But remember, Amazon had 8 months of sideways too. It broke out. Palantir has been sideways for a while. A lot of names have been sideways for a while. So again, not a lot of positioning in these names, but Taiwan Semiconductor is a good company. So keep that in mind. Definitely a lot to go over in terms of the market, where we're going to go next. We talked about that. Looks like, again, like I said, I'm still bullish at the end of the year. I still think 4,800 on the S&P is definitely in focus. We're at 47.12 on the S&P, 47.04 on E-mini futures. Next week is the FOMC. So next week we have the Fed talking. Let's see if they speed up tapering with the CPI number. Let's see if they talk about rate increases. So it's going to be a big, big one. That's on next Wednesday. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about it on the morning note as we go along. Unity Software. Oh, Unity Software. I thought it was Unilever. I'm sorry. But yeah, Unity Software, for the most part, it's really not doing much. It's right at the 100-day on the daily. Let's see if it gets down to 119 if you're looking to buy it. But in terms of options, more likely it's puts. But that's where we are. Any other questions this afternoon? I'm ready for you guys. Delete all these damn emails. Bunch of advertising emails. Annoying. So if there's no more questions, I guess I'll get started on my Friday evening, just of relaxing, and then back to work on Sunday. All right, well, guys, we'll leave it there. Remember, weekends are for crypto. Don't forget, have a great rest of your day and your week. Stay safe out there, guys. Enjoy a drink. I don't know if I'll have a drink tonight. Probably not. But have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you guys on Monday for the morning note. Cheers, guys. Oh, any thoughts on solar companies? Run. Let's take a look at it. I don't know what Run is. I'm assuming that is a solar company. Looking at the data, at the charts, it looks like, it's another growth company that took a little bit of a hit. It was high in February and then kind of sank. Really, in terms of energy companies, the only one I really, really do like, it's a utility, is NEE, NextEra Energy. They own FPL, which is in Florida. This is our energy provider. They have nuclear energy. So again, that's probably my favorite of all the alternative energy companies. I think NextEra is probably the better bet there. And have a great weekend, guys. Thanks, Chris, for the question. Thank you, Jose, Chris, Jason, Henry, Skull Nation for joining me today. I appreciate you all. Thanks for joining me 5 o'clock on a Friday night. You guys should be at happy hour, right? And looking at HUT, I don't know much about HUT, but again, breaking down on the daily, on the hourly doesn't look as great either. So I don't think they'll have much call options. But if you're looking to buy, see if you can get that 200-day moving average at 766. But have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll catch you guys on Monday for the morning note. We'll talk about it again. Have a great weekend. And go Cowboys. They're going to beat the Washington football team. See you then.